What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning. I am your host, Wise. I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. It is hump day. It's Wednesday. Week flying by, middle of the week. And I appreciate you guys pulling up and hanging out with me for a little bit. Like I said the other day, man, we're trying to keep the shows compact. Tomorrow will be a call-in show. I believe on Friday we'll do another panel show. I got to reach out to some people. We'll make that happen today. But I do appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. I hope all is well with each and every one of you guys. We have a pretty good show today. We have a couple topics to discuss today. And I'm sure you guys had a chance to see the thumbnail, see the title. If you have not hit that like button for me, please make sure you hit that like button for me. Let me show some love to my folks in the chat. If this is your first time pulling up to ARP in the morning and just checking out the live stream, if this is your first time, please let me know in the chat. So we can make sure that we show you some love, properly welcome you to ARP in the morning. And, we want to give folks in the chat the opportunity to welcome you to ARP, to the ARP family. Thank you all. And shout out to all my Blues. Shout out to my ARP family members. Appreciate you guys, man, supporting me, supporting the channel on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis, man. God bless you all. God bless you all. Shout out to Lori Ottison, first person in the chat this morning. She says, good morning and happy hump day. Don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, Lord. Please don't forget to hit that like button. What up, Hobo Rod Prospecting? What's going on? Playboy Billy. What's up with you, brother? Hope all is well with you. What up, JJ O'Hara? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Brian M in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Donald Lovejoy? How's it going this morning? Hope all is well. Big Job Ford out of Wisconsin. What's up with you, brother? Hope all is well. What up, Redefine Queen? How you doing this morning? Good morning to you. PK Krillin, what's going on, brother? Good morning to you. Toy Mafia in the building. What up, Zephyr K9? How you doing this morning? What up, Buddha? Insanity's darling. How you doing this morning? What up, Nelly? What up, Jane Facto? How's it going this morning? What up, Amber Young? How you doing this morning? Sacktown in the building. What up, Vicky Vale? How's it going this morning? Lakewood, Washington in the house. What up, Q1? Atlanta in the building. Shout out to you, sister. Hope all is well with you. What up, Steve Edminster? Buffalo in the house. Shout out to you. What up, B? B over here hanging out with us. This is where you want to be at. I know B, she kind of splits between, myself and Van. But kick Van to the curb, man. He got enough minds, man. Come over here and hang out with us on a day-to-day basis. I'll make sure I tell Van that B will not be helping you anymore. She's going to provide her services over here with us. What up, God bless America, 856. What's up, Marla? How you doing this morning? What up, Joseph Orsini? Hope all is well with your brother. What up, Baby Lungs? How's it going this morning? Burnsville, Minnesota in the house. What up, Cool Ramon? How's it going this morning? We got George Hayden in the building. Shout out to him. George Hayden is not happy with some folks in the Trump administration. And he is voicing his opinion today. Y'all make sure y'all show him some grace. Make sure y'all show him some love as well. What's up, Thea Flies High? We got Roscoe, New York in the house. Appreciate you guys pulling up. What up, Robert Dalton? We got Tracy DeCambra. Appreciate you pulling up. Pacific, California in the house. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Corrine Easley? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. What up, Janice Wells? How's it going this morning? Rome, Georgia in the building. Who else we got up in here? We got Chad Winstead, Big Pun. What up, Noah's Kind? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Billboard Bills, what up? Massachusetts in the building. Let me get a sip of my coffee real quick, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show yesterday. As you guys know, it is Men's Health Month or Men's Mental Health Month for this whole month, this June. Periodically throughout this month, I think we talked about this yesterday, we're going to discuss some different things, different topics in reference to, men's health and men's mental health, something that's extremely important. I don't know if you guys ever watch ESPN back in the day. I'm not talking about today. It's super woke. I don't even watch it like that anymore. The only reason I watch ESPN is for live sports when football season rolls around. That's it. But there was and I want to pull this up for you guys. Give me a second. if you recall the show from back in the day, Sports Science. I don't know if you guys recall that show from back in the day. And I want to share this with you guys. This is this is real. This is very real. And it's just so important. It's so important to you get this information out, man. People need to know how serious this is when it comes to men's mental health. It says here in this article, former ESPN sports science host John Brinkus dies at the age of 54. I don't know if you guys remember that show, Sports Science. I thought was freaking phenomenal. I'm one of those, kind of, nerdy geeks, and I like to see, the intricate details of things, when it comes to sports. And this guy, he put on a really, really, good show, and he passed. He killed himself. It's just unfortunate, man. You just never know what people are going through. They may be, you see somebody smiling, but, deep down inside, man, they're really going through some things, man. So, rest in peace to John Brinkus. Condolences to his family. And this is just unfortunate, man. These are, these are things that are happening. These are real. This is real. The rates of men taking their own lives is just, it's unbelievable, man. When you go and look at the numbers, it really is. It's just unbelievable. It really is. It's sad. It's really sad, honestly. Really, really sad. What's going on, Derek Cannon? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. If you haven't done so already, man, please make sure you hit that like button for me. We're going to get the show started pretty quickly. I know there was someone in the chat yesterday. They were upset, like, man, get the show started, man. It took too long to get it going. But, hey, this is a live show, man, and this is what we do. I want to make sure, that this is it's as interactive as we can possibly make it. You know what I'm saying? And, the people that pull up, watch what we do and hang out with us live, enjoy and contribute via the chat. It's important, to make sure that those people know that, one, I see them, and two, that I appreciate them, and that's a lot of the reason why, we go through this. I wanted to, this is, we're building a community here. We are building a community here, and it's a strong community, and it's a good community. It seems like there's a lot of really good people in the, in the chat, and, we just want to make sure that, I want to make sure that I recognize people and let it be known, that, hey, I see you in there, and I definitely appreciate it. So give me a little grace. What's up, Classic Opinion? How's it going this morning? We got C-Wing in the house. What up, Scott Jung? How's it going this morning? Leanne Houston pulled up this morning out of Oxford, Alabama. Appreciate you guys. Oh, we got George Hayden out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay, that's what's up, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Yeah, I got family in Knoxville. I was born at UT Hospital, and I spent half of my childhood, in Knoxville before we moved to Georgia. It's crazy. Wow. What up, Bill Mortlock? How's it going this morning? What up, Spaces? How's it going this morning? Hey, Kiwan, I have not reached out to Vince Everett Ellison yet. I do plan to do so, and my plan, is to start, doing some interviews. I think, interviewing some conservative voices and maybe some people outside of the conservative space. I want to do that. Some of the folks here, on YouTube that have channels, and kind of, get them some love, but to be able to have a good conversation with them as well. I think that's, something that I'm working on, that I want to lean into, as we get, a little further along in this. Those are a little tougher because, we're probably gonna have to individually record them and, things of that nature. But yeah, Vince Everett Ellison, he's on my wish list for sure. He's definitely on my wish list. So if y'all see him, y'all let it be known that, hey, I definitely want to get him on the channel and we want to sit down and have a conversation, with him. And there's a few others, out there as well. What's going on, EM? Appreciate you pulling up. Why EM says, why is you working out? Yeah, I try to hit the gym. I try to hit the gym and try to get in there and lift at least 3-4 days a week. I try to as much as I can. I like to get out, and get my steps in on a day-to-day basis and get my walk on and stuff like that. I try to do that as well. What up, Kathy S? She said it's her first time in the live show. I watch you often in the evening. Thank you, Kathy S, for pulling up this morning. Thank you. Y'all make sure y'all show Kathy some love in the chat. Classic Opinion said it's his, I don't know if it's his or hers. I'm not 100% sure based on that silhouette there. But appreciate you as well, Classic Opinion. Y'all make sure y'all show Classic Opinion some love in the chat as well. First time pulling up to a live stream, and I definitely appreciate that, man. We got Kilobyte says it's first time catching one of your lives. I 100% support your message. God is good. Yes, he is. He is very good, and thank you for pulling up. Y'all make sure y'all show Kilobyte some love in the chat as well this morning. What's up, Barbara? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. C-Wing says Atlanta in the building. She appreciates you pulling up this morning. And we got EM out of Texas. What up, Dion? How you doing this morning, sister? Hope all is well with you. What up, Billy W? How you doing this morning? What's going on? Got my guy Aaron in the building. Said he back and forth between me and Professor Black Truth. I figured you watch Professor Black Truth. I watch him from time to time. I'll check him out from time to time. I'm a little all over the place. I'm watching and listening to a little bit of everybody. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, bro. We got Tracy DeCambra says this is the first time catching a live. Been watching the channel for a while and never been able to catch a live. Thank you very much, Tracy, for pulling up this morning. Thank you. Y'all make sure y'all show Tracy some love in the chat, man. Y'all make sure y'all show her some love. Shout out to Donnie joining the ARP family. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Who else we got up in here? We got Vivian Mac Alexander. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Baby Long says, okay, I got you. I see you. I see you. Every now and again, that it happens. What up, Quincy? How you doing this morning? Quincy James in the building. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Junior Ray in the building. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. True Texan. What's going on, Mary D? How's it going this morning? We got Sharon Cribbs in the building. What up, Dr. Kyla? How you doing this morning, sister? Hope all is well. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, C. Berkey? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up as well. What up, Anthony? How's it going this morning? Anthony, is it Piccaninny? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Westmore ads already starting daily. Man, don't get me started on Westmore. Don't get me started on Westmore. Goodness gracious, man. Thank you, Donnie, for joining the ARP family, man. Duluth, Minnesota in the building. Shout out to you, man. Thank you very much. Kiwan wants to know, what does mushroom coffee taste like? Honestly, it tastes like regular coffee. It's instant, so you don't brew it through. You get you a cup of hot water. It's instant. It's a tablespoon. You throw it in there. You stir it up really good. However you want to do it with the creamer and stuff. I am lactose intolerant, so I use more plant-based plant-based creamers. I like almond milk personally. And the environmental people, please don't come for me. In the chat, I can't do milk and stuff like that, and oat's not good for you. So I do almond milk creamer, and it tastes like regular coffee, in my opinion. It just doesn't have all the excess acid and all that kind of stuff that comes with coffee. What up, Ann Nettles out of Powder Springs said it's the first time joining ARP. First time joining ARP chat. Watch your videos often. Thank you very much, Ann. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Y'all make sure y'all show Ann some love in the chat. Thank you for pulling up this morning. Thank you for pulling up this morning. We got Clarence David Atkinson Says, good morning out of Tacoma, Washington. Woo, boy, Washington's something else, man. I used to live in Snohomish County. This was a while back, long time ago, well over 10 years ago at this point, so I live north of where you are, Clarence, and I'm sure you know where Snohomish is. I used to live, up that way towards Everett and, just north of Seattle. And at that time, it wasn't as bad as what I see it is, what I see today. Good Lord. It is some characters up there, man. Be safe up there, brother. Be safe. C. Bergie says, Caitlin Clark land. Hey, the WNBA, them numbers is down. Caitlin Clark been out. She been hurt. I think they say she's out for maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. Those numbers are down. They better stop acting like she ain't carrying the league. All right, we're going to get the show started, man. I want to make sure that I have not missed anybody that's new. I want to make sure I hadn't done that yet. Shout out to Kilobyte gifting 5 ARP family memberships, man. Thank you very much, Kilobyte, man. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. If you receive one of those memberships, y'all make sure that y'all show Kilobyte some love, man. That is awesome, man. Appreciate you. What's up, Barry? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. All right, let's get the show started, man. Hey, hit that like button for me if you haven't done so. Blues, I mean, we got 209 people up in here. We should have well over 200 likes at this point. If we are not, man, please make sure you guys hit that like button. Please make sure you do so. When it comes to the memberships, I am going to make an adjustment. I want to put it out here, on this, and I think I'll put a community post out there. In one of the membership levels, I want to open it up and, create a meetup, via Zoom where we can meet. I'm not 100% sure how much I can commit. It either will be once a month or once every other month, and we can get on, for an hour and a half, on Zoom. It will not be recorded, so you don't have to worry about, trying to hide your face. It's just an opportunity for people that are, a part of the ARP family. We'll get a chance to meet and greet, get a chance to see each other. You get a chance to, get in a Zoom meeting and hang it out and chop it up with me offline, off video. It won't be recorded or anything along those lines. It's just a chance for us to, meet, greet, fellowship, and just get a chance to get a chance for, for us to get to know each other. And, for you guys that probably see each other in the chat all the time to pull up and we can talk about whatever. If y'all have questions for me, you want to get something off your chest, you just want to be a part of a community that you can, pull up to, maybe once a month, maybe once every other week. Maybe we'll do it twice a month. I'm trying to figure that out. I'll get the logistics of that, taken care of here in the near future. But I'm almost for sure that we're going to make that happen. And it will probably be the middle tier of the membership. So not the top tier, not the bottom. I think it'll be the gold tier. Anybody that is a part of that will have access to, that Zoom meeting, that Zoom call, to get a chance to pull up and hang out with me. I think that'd be pretty cool. Some people do Discord and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of Discord. I don't like it. I just think it's too cumbersome, in my opinion. It's almost like being in the chat. I want to do something that's a little more intimate, and I want to, give you guys that join the membership, that support the channel, access to me, in a way that may be a little different, than some others. So if that is something you're interested in, let me know in the chat. We're going to work on getting that set up and getting that piece together. And I think that would be awesome, man. I'd love to, get a chance to, put some faces with names and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to making that happen as quickly as possible. Like I said, hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Anybody that joins the ARP family or gifts an ARP family membership, that will stop the show. They will be acknowledged as quickly as possible as well. I appreciate all of you guys that have pulled up thus far, man. Blues, y'all make sure y'all keep track of the likes for me. Make sure we got those up. Yesterday, man, we did awesome. I think we had over 500 likes, on the video yesterday, which was phenomenal. Awesome, man. But thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for all that you do. And, thank you guys for rocking with me, man. All right. Let me try to catch up here, on the super chats here. All right. And I'm going to have to go back to and check some of this stuff out. But let's get into it.
Something that just crossed, Caroline. How mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, thank you. The National Security Council was reorganized, or some staffing changes were made.
Alrighty, so let's get into it real quick. So, and before I do that,
so remember when the left was all
shout out
in
to
on climate
is it
change? Every conversation was about melting ice
that
caps, heat
Big
waves,
Moine
and floods.
AZ? I hope
Though,
I'm
to be
pronouncing
fair,
that right.
we were the first to
My
report
apologies
on the
if I'm
environment.
not. But thank you very much for gifting 5 ARP family memberships. Thank you very much, man. I really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. That's awesome. And make sure y'all hit that like button for me. I'm not sure where we're at, but make sure y'all hit that like button for me. But Elon Musk has he's done something. He's ignited a political firestorm by denouncing congressional Republicans in a series of posts on X. He says, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore, man. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You did wrong. You know it. Musk lambasted the bill, for its excessive pork barrel spending and projected $2.5 trillion addition to the national deficit. He urged voters to hold accountable those lawmakers who supported the legislation, stating, in November next year, we fire all politicians who betrayed the American people. House Speaker Johnson expressed disappointment over Musk's remarks, stating, with all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about this one big, beautiful bill. Oh, man. Here it is. You got a guy that's attempting, or at least attempted, to clean up and cut some of the reckless spending. And it's hard, man. It's hard. The swamp is deep.
Yeah, let me say this. It's very disappointing. Okay, I've come to consider Elon a good friend. He's obviously a very intelligent person, and he's done a lot of great work. With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill. Yeah, let me.
You know what? I want to replay that one more time.
Let me say this. It's very disappointing. Okay, I've come to consider Elon a good friend. He's obviously a very intelligent person, and he's done a lot of great work. With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill. Yeah, let me say this. It's
So Speaker Johnson is maintaining that the bill is a necessary step for the country's fiscal health. He is. But the Congressional Budget Office estimates that the bill would increase federal deficits by $2.3 trillion over the next decade. And then there's the White House. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, she dismissed the CBO's analysis, labeling the institution as partisan and historically inaccurate. Now, from where I stand, I'd probably side with Elon over congressional Republicans, many of whom are a part and parcel of the same establishment the Trump administration is working hard to dismantle. The bill does look bloated in some parts, but delivers on some key campaign promises. Excuse me. Because this one big, beautiful bill isn't just another bloated omnibus. It's part of Trump's broader economic strategy, and he's gambling big. He's gambling big. Slashing corporate taxes again, expanding tariffs to protect American industries, and pouring billions into reshoring manufacturing. There are also infrastructure incentives buried in there as well. And yes, there are some targeted social spending aimed at middle-income families. I mean, it's not clean, but when is it ever clean in DC? When? And that's the difference here, in my opinion. This isn't Biden throwing money at DEI consultants or solar panels for Ukraine. Trump's bill is structured around growth, even if it's somewhat messy or very messy. The overall goal is to help supercharge the U.S. economy, protect American jobs, and force foreign competitors to finally play by our rules. Now let's get back to Elon Musk for a quick second. Let's get back to Musk for a quick second. In his view, and I understand his sentiment, I understand his sentiment completely. This level of spending, I mean, it's a betrayal of fiscal discipline. It is. It is. But President Trump also isn't running some libertarian administration. He's running an America First administration. And right now he sees this bill as the fuel for a second term rocket engine. And now you got Democrats out there that would like to, that would like you to think that this is some, declaration of war. There's a major rift between, Trump and Elon. They love this. They love it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I mean, Elon, he made it very clear, where he stood on the bill from the get-go. He did. He's always said that this is a very dangerous path to go. That there should be the need to reduce debts and overspending. And to be honest with you, he don't get any pushback. He won't get any pushback from me on that sentiment, because I think a lot of us feel the exact same way when it comes to this particular bill or when it comes to spending in general.
Going bankrupt extremely quickly. And everyone seems to be sort of whistling past the graveyard on this one. The Defense Department budget is a very big budget, okay? It's $1 trillion a year, DoD, Intel, it's $1 trillion. And interest payments on the national debt just exceeded the Defense Department budget. They're over $1 trillion a year, just in interest, and rising. We're adding $1 trillion to our debt, which our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay somehow every 3 months. And then soon it's going to be every 2 months, and then every month. And then the only thing we'll be able to pay is interest. And if this is, it's just, it's just like a person at scale that has racked up too much credit card debt, and this does not have a good ending. And so we have to reduce the spending.
Yeah, I agree. We do. I'm not even gonna say we do. We must reduce the spending. But we also have to keep in mind that the midterms are coming, and no matter how much disdain that we have, and frankly should have for congressional Republicans, never forget that it's the Democrats that got us into this mess in the first place. There's always going to be pain. In course correcting. That's like, running up your daggone or running up your credit card bill. You're gonna have to feel some pain to pay it off. You're gonna have to cut out, some of the things that you enjoy and pay it off. So there's always going to be pain, in course correcting, and no one's going to get exactly what they want. But when Massey, Rand Paul, and Elon have a viable reconciliation bill plan for the MAGA agenda, I'll listen. But until then, it kind of is what it is. And that's the difference between us and the other side. We are allowed to have differences of opinions. That's the one thing that I say that I really, really appreciate, about this side of the aisle, this side of things. We don't always agree. We're not supposed to agree on everything. Debate is not only important, it's encouraged, and you have the ability to voice your opinion without being, ostracized, from the party or from the agenda or from the movement. And, ultimately something will get done. You may not like it, and you still have the ability to say, you know what, I don't like it for one reason or another. And no one's going to say, oh man, you can't come around here no more. No one's going to do that. We are allowed to have differences of opinion. We're allowed to debate things. And that's what the Democrats don't actually understand. They don't understand that. They see like, oh man, there's a debate there. There's a, there's some, they're not all, locked up on the same page. And they see this moment as a fracture, a sign that the right is eating itself, but they're misreading it. This isn't an ideological showdown. This is a debate within a movement that's alive, dynamic, and willing to argue the hard stuff. And in fact, the only reason this is making headlines is because Republicans actually have a real internal conversation, something Democrats haven't had in years. Their entire platform is dictated top down from party elites and Silicon Valley donors. No dissent is allowed. None. That is the beautiful thing, about this side of things. When you see something that you don't like, you have the ability to say, I don't care for that. I don't like it. Well, let's talk about optics for a second. Musk stepping down from his advisory role in the Department of Government Efficiency, that was probably a signal. Maybe he wants to distance himself from what he sees as business as usual politics, and I don't have a problem with that either. He's a free agent. But don't confuse, a public disagreement for, a civil war. Musk, Trump, they might butt heads, but they're still aligned on most of the core issues. They are, especially when it comes to deregulation, energy independence, and fighting back against globalist overreach. Let's also not ignore the timing of this thing. Got a super chat that came in. Shout out to Insanity's Darling with the $2 super chat. It says, we have too many soft Republicans in office. You get no argument from me on that one. None. You get no argument from me on that one. We definitely do. There's too many soft Republicans. You got a bunch of rhinos as well. But let's not ignore the timing of all of this. I mean, this whole thing popped off just as new job numbers dropped, showing the economy added 177,000 jobs in April, with unemployment holding steady at 4.2%. The reality is this: we do need a shot in the arm. The economy needs a shot in the arm right now. All right. Got one more super chat I want to read from Insanity Darling. $2 super chat. Thank you very much. We have too many soft Republicans in office. Oh, she hit it twice. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. But the economy right now, it does need a shot in the arm. People are complaining because, there are a lot of government jobs, that were lost. And there are, a large amount of people that are now unemployed. I know there's numbers going out there and they're talking, black women, and you're seeing white women as well. I think they said, 106,000 black women lost jobs, over the, course of, a month or so or something along those lines. What's going on, Crystal? How you doing this morning? So the economy, it needs a shot in the arm. It really does. We've been going through annual layoffs dating back to 2021. You know what I'm saying? There's been massive layoffs dating back to 2021. the economy needs a shot in the arm. It really does. Now, they did get rid of a lot of these, and we talked about this yesterday. They got rid of a lot of these DEI departments and some of these positions that were that were not needed. Good Lord. That were not needed. But we need to see private sector in the business of innovation, and we need to see the private sector in the business of hiring people and pushing innovation and productivity. We need to see it. I'm so looking forward to, us getting back to where we were pre the shutdowns. Oh my goodness, man. If you guys recall, before the shutdowns, man, we were booming. There were more jobs than people at that time. I knew people that had 3 jobs, and I ain't talking about 3 low-level positions. I'm talking about 3 high-paying positions. We're talking jobs that $100,000 or something along those lines. It's crazy. It was booming. Goodness gracious, it was. Whew. I'm looking for. I'd like to see us get back there. Mark Hope says millions of lost jobs with this artificial intelligence. I don't think the AI had, right now, I don't think the AI is playing a role in the lost jobs. And AI honestly is a tool, but what we also got to understand is about every 50 years, old jobs go away, old industries die, and new industries appear. So with the advent of AI, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to open up, in my opinion, it's going to open up just another industry. Think about this. And we're going to keep the show going. But before the vehicle was really, implemented to the masses, there was an industry around horses, right? You had your buggy repairs, you had all your horseshoe folks. What else? You had your people that created created in saddles. I mean, you had to think there was an entire industry around horses. Then also you had all the jobs, the people, in the streets, picking up horse manure and all these other types of things. Like there was an entire industry and it went away just like that. But a new industry took its place and more jobs came from it. They were new jobs, so people had to retrain. But we've experienced this in this country. We've experienced, technological advances, and we've seen old industries die off, and we've seen new industries, create wealth for the masses. We've seen this before. I think, and I would assume that there were a lot of doomsday folks back in the day. Hey, man, this car thing, man, it's going to cost a lot of people jobs and businesses. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding that, all those jobs are going to go away, but there's going to be new jobs, and new skill sets that are needed that are going to appear. Man. That's just my opinion on it. That's just my opinion.
All right, breaking moments ago, the April jobs report just released showing steady gains amid some economic uncertainty. I want to bring in CNN's Matt Egan, who joins me now with more. All right, what are we seeing in the numbers? What is the context here?
Yeah, Omar, we were bracing for a slowdown in the jobs market. We did not get that. We got steady hiring. This jobs market is just relentless. Let me run you through the key numbers.
Yeah, let's do it.
177,000 jobs were added in the month of April. That easily beat forecasts for 135,000. So not even close there. The unemployment rate stayed low. It stayed at 4.2%. When we look at where the jobs are right now, we're seeing solid gains in a number of places. Accommodation and food services, right? Restaurants, hotels, hospitals, healthcare, private education, all of them adding jobs. One place where we saw a loss of jobs again was the federal government as the DOGE cuts to the workforce continue. But still, when we really zoom out here, this jobs market has been solid, right? I mean, 177,000 jobs. That, when we look at the trend, look at this. we saw that March was actually significantly revised lower to 185,000 jobs added. That's down from the original report. So you can see that there really isn't all that much of a change here. And these are still very solid numbers. Now, this is a big contrast to what's shown up in the surveys, right? We've seen so much gloom and doom from consumers, small business owners, CEOs. There's all of these concerns about the economy, about the trade war. One thing I would note as we look at the market reaction, futures were up ahead of this. They've remained up. One thing I would just stress is that this does not mean that the economy is out of the woods, right? It does not take off the risk of a recession, right? Because there is the risk that there's a demand shock, there's a hit to the jobs market that just isn't visible yet in the data, right? That it's something that we could be seeing more in May and in June. I talked to RSM economist Joe Bruce Willis, and he told me, look, in some ways, this could be kind of like the last call for the economy, right? Kind of like on a Saturday night, this is the last song. Enjoy it while it lasts because there are all of these risks ahead. So I think the big question is.
Shout out to Jeanette with the $5 super chat. Says, who exactly are we in debt to? The Fed? Why doesn't Trump just do Andrew Jackson and end it? It's a great question. Great question. You know, we always talk about the deficit. They never actually talks about who owns the debt, right? You know, they never actually talk about who owns the debt. But I have heard that, a large swath of it, and Kiwan, I believe you're on to something as well, that Japan and China owns, large swath of that debt. Large swath of that debt. But in other words, Trump's economic message, it is working. It is working. Now think about this. 177,000 new positions. We have a massive amount of people on assistance not working. We're doing our best to get illegal immigrants out who drive wages down, who may, take or have been, who may have taken some of these positions, in the past, right? And they drive wages down because they'll work under the table and they'll work for pennies on the dollar in comparison to what an American would be willing to work for. You take these people off of, the assistance. You take these people off of assistance, move them and get these people to working. We get the illegal immigrants out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the cycle, it will work. It will work. So yes, I mean, the bill itself, it may be bloated. Yes, there is pork, but this is politics. It's not tech. This is politics. It's not tech. It's negotiation. It's leverage. You want to reshape the economy. You want to crush the administrative state. You want to rebuild American industry. Sometimes you got to grease a few wheels to get the engines turning. You got to grease a few wheels to get the engines turning. So do I agree with Elon? I absolutely do. Do I also realize that something needs to get done so we have a chance in the midterms? Yeah, I actually understand that as well. And the bill, despite its flaws, does deliver on key campaign promises. It does slash corporate taxes again, which the previous administration, they raised the corporate tax, and that caused a lot of that pretty much was the domino that failed, that started to cause the ripple effect of the layoffs that kicked off in 2021. You know what I'm saying? So you slash those corporate taxes. We get private sector businesses in the business of being innovative, and increasing production, which also means that they need to hire more people. I mean, it's a trickle-down effect all the way down. You do that. You slash those taxes on the corporations. And, in my opinion, I think that's crucial for incentivizing business growth and investment. It expands tariffs to protect American industries, ensuring that we don't lose ground to foreign competitors. There's also significant infrastructure incentives buried in there as well, aimed at rebuilding our roads, bridges, and broadband networks, which are vital for economic competitiveness. And let's not overlook the targeted social spending aimed at middle-income families. It provides relief and support where it's needed most. So yes, there is some support there. There are some issues there, but we do need a shot in the arm in reference to our economy. We do need it. We do need it. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Please make sure you do that. But let's keep it moving. Now, speaking of reshaping institutions and making bold moves, let's shift gears to another significant action taken by the Trump administration this week. Check this out.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is ordering the U.S. Navy to rename the USNS Harvey Milk, a ship that was named after the slain gay rights leader and Navy veteran. CBS News has learned that the U.S. Navy is also considering renaming multiple other naval ships named after civil rights leaders and prominent American voices. Let's bring in CBS News Bay Area reporter Kenny Choi, who joins us live now from San Francisco. Kenny, tell us what we know about this decision so far.
Well, Elizabeth, we have learned that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered the U.S. Navy to make this name change. It was not too long ago that the USNS Harvey Milk was christened and launched to honor the gay rights activists. Now, the documents also show the proposed timeline of this change. That official name change is set to be made later this month. What's unclear right now is what that new name of that ship will be. Now, we've also learned that there are also other ships, other vessels named after prominent American figures, including Supreme Court Justices Thurgood Marshall, as well as Ruth Bader Ginsburg and American abolitionist Harriet Tubman.
All right, so Hegseth is on a mission, man, to dismantle what many people see as the rot in the military that's been infiltrated, under the previous administration, namely the DEI initiatives. He's ordered a sweeping overhaul, cutting DEI programs, shutting down diversity offices, and refocusing the military on its core mission, which is readiness, lethality, and national defense. This includes banning, the trans service members, a policy that Trump reinstated early in his term, and ensuring that military training and culture are free from what Hegseth calls divisive and demeaning political ideologies. I don't think he's wrong either. I don't. As someone who actually served in the military, who actually has a son that serves in the military currently, who also has, one of my favorite little cousins currently in the military right now, in his service, it goes way, way, way back, to my great grandfather, who served in World War II. We don't want to see the wokeness. And, having a conversation with my son over the weekend, he was talking about, he's about ready to get out. He's got a couple more years, before he can. But he told me himself, he's like, man, it's some crazy stuff, going on in the military. And there's a lot of people that are deciding to get out. I mean, for one, there's typically more money on the outside than there is in, but there's also a lot of foolishness that, they've had to endure since he's been in reference, this super woke stuff that's been going on in the military. And, hey, I get it. I definitely get it.
Now, Kenny, you're in San Francisco. Harvey Milk is an icon. He is a hero in that city. What kind of reaction are we seeing to this?
Yeah, so I spoke to Democratic leaders throughout the day, including State Senator Scott Wiener. We also got a statement from former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who said that this essentially move was a spiteful move by the Trump administration. Here's what House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries had to say.
Here's what the outcome is going to be. Every single time they've raised this issue and tried to cancel a part of our history, they've had to walk it back. Because the American people, aided and assisted by Democrats, have aggressively pushed back. They tried to cancel Harriet Tubman. We reversed it. They tried to cancel Jackie Robinson. We reversed it. They tried to cancel the Tuskegee Airmen. We reversed it.
If Team Barack Obama is talking, he's probably lying. You know, I did hear some things about Jackie Robinson. Came down and got put back up. But here they go. Crying foul, as always. Never a solution. You know, it's a lot of complaints, though. A lot of complaints. You know. But they're accusing Hegseth of undermining the military's inclusivity and dragging it back to some dark age. But let's just keep it real here, man. This is simply a return to sanity. It really is. A reclamation of the military's purpose. Now I'm all for honoring great Americans. Do not get me wrong. Thurgood Marshall, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Harriet Tubman, I'm all for it. And they're all significant figures in our history. It's unfortunate because we got a lot of young people that don't know anything about any of these people that I just mentioned. Unfortunately, our schools are doing a piss poor job. They really are. They really are. But, you know, at the expense of our military, I'm just not with pushing, you know, this woke foolishness, you know, at the expense of national security. Not when the previous administration, you know, was more concerned with optics, with sanctifying certain people for political points. But when it came to the actual military itself, hey, y'all seen what happened. And then Russia invaded Ukraine and no one took us seriously. You know, our deterrence was weakened. Our readiness was questioned. And our focus was diluted by social experience rather than national defense. I mean, they literally allowed people to go through, quote unquote, gender affirming care paid for by the military. And when these people get out, they get disability because they get the disability check when they get out because they got a surgery and they got something done that basically requires lifelong care at that. I mean, that's a waste of taxpayers' dollars, man. If you want to do that to yourself, God bless you, man. Do you? But we shouldn't have to pay for it. I don't know if this is about erasing history as much as it's about ensuring that our military is a fighting force, not a cultural battleground. And under the previous administration, the military was more about diversity quotas and less about dominance on the battlefield. That's why our numbers were down. That's why you couldn't get people to join. You couldn't get people to serve. I mean, they hosted drag shows on bases, pushed DEI training that divided rather than united, and prioritized identity politics over infantry tactics. And you wonder why people were getting out in droves. They also forced the jab on a multitude of people. And you wonder why people are getting out in droves. And meanwhile, our adversaries, they're watching. And they saw our weakness. Russia didn't just invade Ukraine because they felt like it. They did it because they perceived a lack of resolve and a lack of strength. China was emboldened. Iran was testing us. And our allies were questioning our reliability. Hegseth is attempting to correct that course. And honestly, man, it's about daggone time. Let's not forget the context of Pride Month. Let's not forget that. You got a lot of liberals upset because they're losing ground on the cultural front across the board. A lot of companies aren't grandstanding for, you know, this Rainbow Month anymore. They're not. They're not grandstanding. We talked about this yesterday. You had a lot of companies that said, this ain't it. A recent survey found that nearly 40% of major companies are reducing their pride-related engagement, and none expect it to increase. Now, I do have a problem with the NFL. You got some Major League Baseball teams out there. I got a problem with them as well, and what they're doing. And I like football. That's the one sport that I actually watch. And I'm like, please don't put me in a position where I can't support you guys no more. Seriously. Shout out to True Texan with the $2 super chat. He says, in my opinion, elective surgery should be paid out of pocket. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. The cultural tide is turning. Seriously. It is turning. The cultural tide is turning. People are tired of being of these forced celebrations, the virtue signaling, the rainbow washing. I don't want to go outside and watch some dudes on a truck gyrating with their drawers on. I don't want to see it. I don't understand why people are taking their children to these things. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me. But I do appreciate the fact that you have a lot of corporations that are pulling back from these pride celebrations. And the public is tiring of the overreach. You're tired of it. And it's not just corporations, and the public. Even some of the most hardened, alphabet community cheerleaders, self-described activists, they're turning on the movement, as well. Take this young lady here. Take this young lady here. Let me pull this up for you. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this individual here, Jojo Siwa or Siva. I'm not sure which one it is. But take this young lady right here, for example. This is the former Dance Mom star who once proudly waved the rainbow flag, declaring herself as a lesbian and a queer icon. She did. Now, mind you, this was like one of these quote unquote child stars. She recently made headlines by stepping back from the label. And in an interview, she said that I've realized I'm not a lesbian. I'm queer. I don't know what that means. But I'm just quoting what she said. She says that she realized that she is not a lesbian, but she's queer, and even hinted at a more, fluid identity. I'm not really sure what that means. But she said it's not just about labels. It's not just about labels. Now look at this picture of her with a guy, seemingly in a romantic context. It raises the questions, doesn't it? Is this whole pride thing just for show? Are these, identities performative, designed for attention rather than conviction? And this isn't an isolated incident. It's not. The crazy thing is that when it comes to the alphabet community, and when it comes to I guess what you call it, the lesbian community or whatever the case may be, you got a lot of women that I guess would call themselves the studs or the more manly or those on a more masculine side of things. They're saying that, hey, we're going back to men because this situation is crazy. And I think some of it, it's a fad. But the thing is that kids will latch on to fads. And if you push this on the children, which is what they have done, they've pushed this on the children, elementary school, middle school, high school. They got all these clubs, at these schools. And they've made it, I guess, somewhat fashionable, somewhat cool to be a part of that community. And unfortunately, you have some white kids out there that want to be oppressed. They want to be a part of what's considered a quote unquote oppressed demographic of people. Because, if you're a white kid and you're in public school, you're being told that you are the devil and you are the devil incarnate. I mean, y'all know this is happening. And you have a lot of kids that are saying, you know what? I don't want to be that. I'm going to go join this community because they're considered a marginalized community. And the left has tried to tie, the plight of Black people in America to the plight of people that choose to be a part of the alphabet community. Shout out to my guy, Jeff, with the $11 super chat. He says, we veterans get a day, but demanding the country recognize and celebrate who you have relations with, and you get a whole month. Yeah. Vets get a day, Think about this, and I'm thank you, Jeff, for the $11 super chat. Think about this: if you are a veteran and you serve the nation, you get to be, celebrated for one day. If you are a service member who lost their life serving the nation, you get one day. You get one day. If you are just somebody that works in the nation via Labor Day, you get a day, one day, to be celebrated for your work, your contribution to the nation. You get a day. But if you are a part of the alphabet community and you decide that, hey, you're going, well, they do a lot of things that, I think is a little off the rails, but, you get an entire month to celebrate who you decide to sleep with. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. Craziest thing ever. Across the spectrum, though, man, we are seeing a real backlash against the performative aspects of Pride Month, and it's not just with the singer JoJo. It's not. Other high-profile figures in the alphabet community, they're expressing fatigue with the movement, with the movement's direction as well. They're tired of the infighting, the quote-unquote purity test, the constant demand for allegiance. I mean, this shift is mirroring a broader cultural retreat from what many saw, or see as overreach. Parents are pushing back against these pride events that are happening in schools, in communities. You got communities resisting the rainbow flags on every corner. And even some gay and lesbian individuals are saying enough is enough, man. It's becoming clear that the movement as it stands is losing its unifying power and becoming more about division. And as we, watch these changes unfold, it's evident that the Trump administration's pushback against cultural overreach is part of a larger societal shift. Whether it's Hegseth military overhaul or corporate retreat, from Pride Month, or internal questioning within the alphabet community itself. It's the message. The message is the same. America is reclaiming its identity, its values, and its strength. And I'm 100% here for it, man. Who you want to sleep with, in my opinion, it shouldn't be celebrated. No one is celebrating me for my wife. I don't even go around and like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, my name is so and so, and I sleep with a woman. I've been married to a woman for, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. It is crazy. Shout out to Crystal Beyond Labels. With the $5 super chat, said they use JoJo to push the alphabet narrative and confuse children. It's an evil plan to get our kids. You're absolutely right. And she was a willing participant. And there's a lot of them out there that are willing participants that are willing to take a bag to push this wicked, evil agenda. Thank you, Steve, for the $2 super sticker, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. You're absolutely right, though, Crystal. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad. And nowadays, you can barely watch a movie. You can barely watch a movie. You can barely watch any of these new television shows without these people pushing this stuff on you. I don't watch Tyler Perry anything, but if you've watched anything probably over the past 4 or 5 years from Tyler Perry, I mean, it's literally basically just shoved down your throat. It's crazy. Yeah, Dr. Kyla, that's that Maps. Yeah, Maps. Yeah, that's something else. They got another one too. What is it called? Namba or something like that? Is that what it is, B? Nambla, something like that. They got another one of them out. You got Maps and you got that other group out there. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. That's why, if y'all notice, on that alphabet community, there's always a plus at the end. there's always a plus at the end. You're like, what is this plus? What does the plus mean? Y'all know what it means. Y'all know what it means. Think about it. If they can get it to a point to where a child at the age of 1, 2 can consent to quote unquote gender affirming care, the next step is that, hey, if they are old enough to make that decision, they're also old enough, you know what I'm saying, to choose, and to consent to adult activity. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy. But finally, I want to take a bit of time to talk about some recent comments by Charlamagne the fraud. We'll never call him the guy. Charlamagne the fraud. We'll never call him the guy on this channel. We never do that. But, I think I want to talk about these comments because I think that they really show the shifting dynamics in the immigration debate. CTG, the Breakfast Club, they had Eric Swalwell, the Democratic representative from California, on the show the other day. And folks, what came out of that conversation was nothing short of eye-opening. Under the Biden administration, illegal immigration skyrocketed, right? Border crossings hit record highs with millions entering the U.S. without proper vetting. Sanctuary cities like New York, Chicago, L.A., Denver, the Denver area. Where else? There was a few others out there. Boston, completely overwhelmed. Resources stretched completely thin. And these cities would then send migrants to red states, and then the red state governors would send them back to places like Martha's Vineyard to send a message. And boy, what a message did they send. Oh my goodness. Boy, what a message they sent when the lefties are in place, when they sent these, to Martha's Vineyard. When those people out there started throwing tantrums, begging to take these daggone illegals up out of here. We don't have room for them. We don't have enough space for them. That's what they said. No room. Yeah, Robert, the entire town came out and was like, oh, hex no. Hex no. Not here. Not here. Somebody came out from up there and said it was inhumane to send migrants to Nantucket, to Martha's Vineyard, to all these elite places. That's what they said. Inhumane. Inhumane for who? Is it inhumane for the illegal immigrants or inhumane for them to be living around them? Which one is it? But then there's an even darker side to this. Incidents like the Boulder fire bombings, where the suspect who was in the U.S. illegally allegedly used a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails against a group advocating for Israeli hostages. I mean, this attack carried out by someone with a history of violence and no legal right to be in our country. It underscores the risk associated with unchecked migration. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. You let people in without vetting and you get violence. This is what happens when you prioritize politics over safety. And in this context, Charlamagne, I got to give it to him here. Hey, a dead clock's right twice a day. So I got to give him credit. He didn't hold back. He did not hold back here. Sometimes, sometimes he gets it. Most of the time he doesn't. But he did tell Swalwell, I think one of the most brilliant things that the Republicans did was start shipping those migrants to the Chicagos and to the New York cities and to the Martha's Vineyard, because then it became a problem for those major cities. He essentially saying that the GOP strategy of busing migrants to sanctuary cities forced the issue into the spotlight, making it impossible for liberal strongholds to ignore the strain and the resources, or the strain on the resources and infrastructure. Shout out to Crystal Beyond Labels with the $5 super chat. She says, I argue with Eric Swalwell on X all the time, cheating on his wife with a CCP spy, allegedly. Yeah. That's crazy work right there.
People missed about the border issue was it wasn't just a matter of security. It was a matter of people felt like these individuals were coming into America and getting more resources than people who had been here for years. And I think one of the most brilliant things that Republicans did was start shipping those migrants to the Chicagos and to the New York cities and to the Martha's Vineyards, because then it became a problem for those major cities, because it's easy to say, hey, we're sanctuary cities if you're all the way up here. So if you're really sanctuary cities, then take care of them. And that's when people in those communities started complaining about, oh, how are they coming here and they're getting, room and board? How are they getting money in their pocket? But we've been here suffering all of those years. So my question is, why have Democrats lost the economy war? Because since World War II, whenever there's a Democrat in the White House, the economy does better. Why aren't y'all able to message that?
Yeah. And to your point, if you're a family in Long Island and you see folks staying at hotels that you would not be able to afford to put your family in, I can see why that, creates resentment. And it was a cheap shot what those governors did, but I mean, they won the messaging war on that, and we're still on defense.
Yeah, it was definitely a brilliant political move. I mean, people got to understand, man, this politics game, man, it's chess, not checkers. Even Swalwell, he couldn't spin it. He couldn't. Even if he tried, he wouldn't be able to spin it. But if you think Democrats learned anything or might pivot when it comes to their beloved illegal immigrants, you are sadly mistaken. Swalwell made it clear that they think that this is a messaging war versus that they're just on the completely wrong side of the issue. They're on the wrong side of the border illegal immigration issue. They're on the wrong side of a lot of issues. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it. The GOP's move, I mean, it was a brilliant play because it exposed the hypocrisy of sanctuary cities. These places claimed that, they could handle unlimited immigration, but when faced with the reality, they crumble. It's a lesson in accountability. Do you guys recall? You had governors and mayors of cities, like up in Michigan. Who else? Wu up in, up in Boston, and then the governor up there begging people, hey, do y'all have an extra place? Do y'all have an extra place? Extra room so we can put these people here? Do y'all have it? Yeah, that was crazy. It's a sign, honestly, man. It's really a sign that the Democrats are losing ground. They're on defense right now because they can't defend the indefensible. The Boulder attacks, I mean, it's crazy. All of that, man. It is flat out crazy, the situations that, what's going on there right now.
Trust the Democratic Party after they lied to us so long about President Biden. And I'm big on this because I just read the original Senate. I'm just like, I don't see, I think that Democrats have tried every strategy except for two things: honesty and courage.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who are courageous right now in the Democratic Party. Our bread and butter issue, our dance with the one that brought you, is healthcare. People have always trusted us on healthcare. That's our issue, from President Johnson to President Obama to when Donald Trump tried to take it away. That's how we won the House in 2018. And now this reconciliation bill is going to take 14 million people off their healthcare. We're not only going to protect healthcare, because I think protecting healthcare is not enough. We need to invest in cures. And these motherfuckers are firing cancer doctors. So we have a real clean contrast. We're for cures, they're for cancer, right? That's why you should trust us, because 40% of Americans are going to get a phone call from a doctor to say, I'm sorry, you have cancer. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to, if it doesn't come to you, it's going to come to someone you know. And so you want the party that believes in your health care and that you have a right to fight it and not go broke. And I think we have a chance to do that.
Do you think?
Shout out to True Texan with the $2 super chat. He says, I bet he did not give up any extra room or couch. I'm sure, of course not. So Charlamagne flat out asked the dude, hey, why don't you guys lie for 4 years about Biden's cognitive decline? And this dude's answer is, we're here for cures. There for cancer. Huh? First off, we know that's not true. Pharmaceutical companies aren't there for cures. They're not there for cures. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. The GOP isn't firing cancer doctors. Like, come on, man. They're focusing on reducing government overreach and inefficiency, which, by the way, often means cutting back on bloated bureaucracies that don't directly help patients. But let's keep it real here. Swalwell's claim is a classic distraction tactic. That's what drives me crazy about these people. They go on these platforms and they lie. And the thing is that they lie to people that either, one, don't know they're lying, or too lazy to go and do a little research to realize that they are lying. This dude's sitting there trying to paint, the GOP as some anti-science, anti-health, when in reality, it's the Democrat Party who have pushed policies that have strained our healthcare system, like open borders leading to increased demand without corresponding resources. But this is a pattern of deceit that defines the Democrat Party. Swalwell's been caught in lie after lie after lie, from his personal scandals to his political spin. I mean, you guys recall the Chinese spy. Y'all recall that. Crystal brought it up. He was caught up in it. And instead of owning up to it, he deflected, he denied it, he distanced himself. And now here he is on the Breakfast Club trying to defend a party that has lied to the American people for years. Charlamagne's right in this case. Why should we ever trust them again? To be honest with you, I don't think anybody that is watching this show that are, on this channel, they're not concerned with the Democrats lying, because we know that's who they are and that's what they do. And honestly, we can say that about politicians in general. We can say that about politicians in general. You know what I'm saying? Right, left, don't matter. They be lying. And I know that wasn't grammatically correct, but, I wanted to say it that way. But seriously, we should not ever believe that if anybody like this or, Timu Barack Obama, if they're talking, they lying. They're starting to realize, though, that they have a major problem with men. They know this. Trump won the male vote overwhelmingly. So now they're trying to parade these guys around on podcasts and talk shows to win over the male voters. If Swalwell is the most masculine guy that you have around, that in itself right there spells trouble for going forward for these daggone Democrats. Swalwell, in his infinite wisdom, decided to double down on his delusions. He actually said he's proud that Republicans make fun of him for sleeping with a Chinese spy. He said proud. He said it. He said it. He thinks it's a badge of honor. And get this, he claims that Republicans are just mad because he's straight, white. That's it. Yeah. He said they're mad because he's straight and white. And he's the quote unquote Christian male son of a cop. Now, mind you, this dude is for all kinds of shenanigans. The fact that he can throw Christian, as an adjective to describe himself, I just think it's just crazy. Seriously. But, man, listen to this.
These spy scandal hurt your credibility, or did Republicans just weaponize like a nothing burger, so to speak?
The fact that the FBI and the House Ethics Committee said it was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would hope that would be enough, but like in a disinformation society, like I recognize that it's everyone on the right's favorite meme. My wife tells me all the time, you know what? The second they're not going after you, you're not effective.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wear it as a badge of honor that these guys would want to lie about me all the time, because I think it means that I'm landing punches politically on them that sting. And frankly, I think a lot of Republicans look at me as like, oh, that's a straight, white, Christian male, son of a cop. Like everyone else like him looks like me. So when he comes at me, it's more betrayal to them. Like I've heard that from them on their side, that's why they take it so personally. So I'm not going away, and they can say what they want and the death threats will come. But if they think I'm going to drop my lawsuit from January 6th against the president, or if I regret being an impeachment manager, or if I'm not going to like go out and work my ass off to help us win the midterms, like they're wrong. Like I'm not going away. I came from nothing. I was raised by a cop who did the right thing. Like to me, I'm playing with the house's money, so to speak. And so this is just a right or wrong mission for me.
You get a lot of push.
This dude's full of sugar honey iced tea, man. Shout out to Jeanette with the $5 super chat. Says, does anyone that is a Democrat even trust their party anymore? That's a good question. I would say the answer to that question is either no, or they're so misinformed or ill-informed that they don't know not to trust these people. Shout out to Crystal from Beyond Labels with the $5 super chat. She says, this administration is working on MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, so we don't need to be on medicines all the time. These Dems are delusional. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so Swalwell says that he's proud that Republicans make fun of him for the Chinese spy scandal. This is the guy who had the Chinese spy, Fang, fundraising for him, influencing his office, and he wants to wear it as a badge of honor. I mean, I don't know if it's a flex. I don't think that's a flex. I mean, and his wife encouraged him to do this. All right, TA, take care, bro. What kind of advice is that from your wife? But then again, she could be one of the, this is a marriage of convenience. That could be the case. And, she loves that position, hoping that it helps his political trajectory as he continues to move up, in the ranks. And you have some women out there that, are willing to do whatever. But he did have the audacity to say that Republicans are mad because he is a straight white Christian male son of a cop. Newsflash, Mr. Swalwell. First off, we didn't know that you were, well, I guess we kind of knew you were straight. And obviously we know that you're white. We didn't know that you were a Christian, didn't know that you were a son of a cop. Didn't know that. We're not mad because of your demographic stuff. We're not. Most folks are upset because you compromised national security for personal gain. Most people are upset because you lied about it. You covered it up, and now you're trying to spin it as some kind of virtue. This isn't about you being straight, nor white, nor Christian. It's about you being a liability to the country. And let's be honest, this is the kind of masculinity the Democrats are banking on to win back male voters. They're in for a rude awakening, man. They really are. This is just flat out crazy. This is gold medal winner mental gymnastics. Zero self-awareness. But unfortunately, that's the case with most of our friends over on the left. But there you have it. You got Charlamagne, laying it bare, the Democrat Party's political failures, their lies, their lack of courage, and Swalwell doubling down on his delusion. Dude was asked a point-blank question, and this dude went and said, hey, man, these people are anti-cancer or anti-cancer treatment. You can't make it up, man. This dude literally doubled down on the delusion, proving once again why people cannot trust him or anybody from that side of things, to be honest with you. If they are talking, they are typically lying. And that was 3 clips there. And Dion, I did see your message, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. But I do appreciate you guys pulling up, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Hope you guys enjoyed the chat today. Shout out to all my blues, Zephyr K9, B, T.A. Caskey, Brett Montgomery, I don't know if I seen Coaster in there, but shout out to him as well. But you know, I do appreciate you guys. Do appreciate you guys as always. And Crystal, you're absolutely right. You know, I want to showcase that. She says, people need to stop throwing around the word Christian so loosely. They don't know what it means to be Christian. Pride does not go with being a Christian. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's the problem. And that's why the faith has the reputation that it has in this country, is because there are so many people, what I'd like to call chinos, Christian in name only. But if you had to, you know, if a person like Swalwell or some others out there were on trial for being a Christian, there wouldn't be enough evidence to convict them, to be honest with you. You guys know it. And that's a lot of the problem that we have, you know, with the faith in this country, is that you have so many people wearing a name, but they're not, you know, showcasing themselves through their actions, through their lives, you know, as that. Here it is, this man talking about a Christian. And not to say that, you know, being a Christian and you know, adultery is wrong. And it's not to say that you can't come back from it, because, you know, you can repent. We all fall short. We all fall short of the glory of God, right? We all do. But the fact that you get on there and, you know, you did this, and then you say that you are proud of it, that don't sound Christ-like to me. You know, most of us, you know, when we do something wrong, you know, when we do something, you know, that dishonors our faith or dishonors our family, we show, you know, when we repent, but we also show some contrition, and we definitely don't jump out there and say, hey, I'm proud it happened, or I'm proud I did it. We definitely don't do that. Like, goodness gracious. What's up, Mark? How's it going, man? Hey, Crystal, go ahead. You don't have to borrow it. Just steal it. It's yours. Yeah. My wife and I, we talk about that all the time, man. And the thing is that yeah, Kiwan, he's still married. His wife didn't leave him. But the thing is that, you know, you'll have a lot of people out there, man. I mean, I've personally been to churches where I've seen some of the, you know, some pretty wicked people, you know, in these churches. And, you know, sometimes, you know, people talk about, you know, the energy, you know, how you can feel somebody staring at you, or you can feel the negative energy from a person. You know what I'm saying? And you would get that. Like, there's a lot of churches you'll go to and you will get that. You'll feel the energy, like, I shouldn't be here. You can feel it. You know, it's like the Holy Spirit is speaking to you, saying, nah, man, get up out of here. This ain't it. This isn't it. This isn't where you want to be at. And Steve Edminster, you're absolutely right. It's not a religion. It's a personal relationship with God himself. You're absolutely right. You know, and even with that, you know, you have a lot of people, you know, that's out here faking. Please. Kiwan, his wife ain't leaving him. Dude's probably a multi-millionaire, and she's probably looking at the fact that this dude has some upward momentum. She ain't going nowhere. Not until maybe she can get what she can get out of it. You know, a lot of these political marriages, to be honest with you, a lot of it ain't about the love. It ain't about the fact that we are together. You know, it ain't about that. You know, it's about, you know, it's about power. You know, these are, you know, convenience. It's about convenience. You know, what makes sense, you know, and what type of optics, you know, can we put out there? You know, it's about the optics, because the reality of it is very, very difficult to get elected if you are a single person. You know, I don't know if have we ever had a president that was not married? Most of your senators, you know, are going to be married. Most of them. And I mean, I guess there are some single women out there that have made that, that have kind of made that. You know, I know on the representative side, I know Jasmine Crockett, she's not married, and you know, that don't surprise me, to be honest with you. I'm like, who would want to deal with that long term? Want to deal with that? Hey, Kiwan. Keelan says, I don't know how anyone sits in New Birth. Yeah. I've gone to New Birth, not since Jamal Bryant has been the pastor, but I've gone to New Birth a few times back in the day when Eddie Long was the pastor. I was in high school, then. And oh my goodness, man. Yeah, I don't think the Spirit's moving in that place. Not the Holy Spirit anyway. I don't think so. And Teresa, you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get out of here, man. I do appreciate you guys pulling up this morning, man. I do appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. I hope all is well. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. If you haven't done so already, man, please make sure you hit that like button on the way out the door. Dion, Hegs, now don't step. There are some better churches to go to in the Atlanta area opposed to New Birth. Don't go there. Don't go there. You know what I'm saying? There's some other places. I'm sure Crystal could point you in the right direction. Of a better church. If you ever find yourself, in Atlanta and you're looking for a place to worship, that is not the place. That is not the place. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys, man. Thank you, Marla. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, as always. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. We'll be back at this thing at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We'll be back at it. So you guys enjoy your hump day, enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll catch up with you all. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. Stay safe out here in these streets, man. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Vibe so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.